Hello Bandifans! In the year 2000, game company NAMCO made a few pieces of Crash Bandicoot merchandise. Most notably, keychains, phone straps, and the super famous, ultra rare, uber expensive on the secondary market, NAMCO plush set, which included 4 small Crash plushes: Crash, Pilot Crash, Moto Crash, and Fake Crash. NAMCO also released 2 jumbo versions of these plushes. But since then, NAMCO hadn't made any new Crash Bandicoot plushes. Until now. News first came out on Twitter a few days ago of a large Crash Bandicoot plush, a medium-sized Crash Bandicoot plush, and 4 small keychain Crash plushes. However, disappointingly, only the 4 keychain plushes and the medium-sized plush has been discovered. However, the medium-sized plush is called Big Nuigurumi, the big plush. So I don't know what happened to this huge jumbo-sized plush. I haven't seen it yet. But on today, the 25th of September, they were released in arcades. And, living in Japan, very close to a NAMCO game center, I was lucky enough to find them. Unfortunately, there were strict rules on no filming and no photography, but I did get a few shots. So let's see how well I did. Okay, so back at home, here is the NAMCO bag that I got from the game center once I had won the toys. So, let's see what I got. I was really fortunate, and I stress very fortunate, because I managed to get the big plush, the big Nuigurumi, as they say in Japan. He's not actually that big, but we'll talk about him in a minute. He's not super big, he's quite big, as you can see by the size of my hand. But I was so lucky because the same staff member was watching me for a long time, and she was really kind enough to help me, but I'll go into that in just a minute. And then I also got the small Crash, which you saw me holding in the video. It was really difficult to film inside because there are kind of strict, like, no video, no camera policies, and I think that's because they don't want people to cheat and then show other people how you cheat. But these machines, it's really difficult to cheat. I only managed to get these 2, and I did spend a lot more money than I was hoping. So the other 3, which is the Aku Aku masked Crash, the grinning Crash with the teeth, and the TNT plush, I will try and get on another day, and if I fail, then I might just have to buy them secondhand. But here they are, so we can actually see what they're like, and we can compare them to plushes that came before. So really quickly, the machine to win this Crash is quite difficult. It's a really small claw machine, as you saw, and as it goes down, it spins rather crazily, and it was really hard to get. But luckily, for some reason, I mean, it would literally come down, and then right at the end, it would just go like spin and just land on it, and then it would, you know, do the classic, like, doesn't even close, just opens immediately. And then once it just span, caught him here, and just gripped really tightly and lifted him up, and carried him the whole way, and then dropped him. And that's never happened to me before in a claw machine. I always have to kind of, like, drag it over and then clip the box so that it pulls him up and kind of drops him in. But no, I got the whole grab, so that must have been just a really lucky time to go for that one. This guy, on the other hand, this was another story. So I did video the first try of me picking him up, but then obviously the staff came over, and I was like, oh, I'm not actually allowed to film, so I should probably be careful, I don't want to get kicked out. So obviously I stopped filming and I couldn't film what I was doing. But honestly, you won't believe the amount of times I actually tried to grab him. In fact, I'll do a quick calculation of how many goes I actually tried to win this guy and how much money that cost. Here on the screen. Yes, so I actually had stopped playing and I was about to leave when the staff member who had helped me, anytime you pick up the toy, obviously it gets dropped, and then there's a bunch of balls underneath them, and what they do is they just bounce around. So they would sometimes go into places where the claw can't actually grab them, and in that case you call the staff member and they put it back. And every time I did that, I called the same staff member, the same girl, and she came over and she kept putting him back into a nice position and going, you should grab him from the head and under the armpits, which is what they always say. But Namco are such clever designers. They've been at this for a long time. So I think they've really designed their plushes to be very, very difficult to win indeed. So even if you grab under here, all that happens is it pushes off and it drops. And I saw lots of YouTube videos, I did some studying before I went to get these, that said you should try and grab the tag like this. But the way that Namco's designed the plush, I don't know if you can see, but his bottom is quite sloped. So no matter how low the crane went, it would never ever go anywhere near here. The crane would stop about here and it would scoop, so it would be completely pointless to go for that. So I thought honestly that I was never going to win him until I walked away and the same staff member who had been helping me was like, let me help you. And I said, look, I spent 10,000 yen already. I really don't want to spend any more. And then she said, let me help you. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? So this is obviously just a play-by-play Crash, but just imagine they're the same size. Actually, you can kind of see the size difference there. But she essentially laid one Crash near the box like that, and then she propped him like this over the box. So all I had to do was literally like tap the claw on his head and he just fell in. And I won him! So if it wasn't for this girl helping me to essentially cheat, the staff member helping me to essentially cheat, then I wouldn't have got him. I really do like this, the fact that this is real string. That's so sweet. Obviously it's printed here. We've got printed fingers on there, and then we've got proper fingers here, but no thumb. Actually, wait, hold on. How many fingers does this Crash have? He has 5 fingers, obviously the Japanese style, and that is his thumb there. But in the case of this plush, it looks like this knob is his thumb. Yeah, because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers here, and then he has no other finger. He just has a glove thumb. This plush is really nice. Now, I wanted to compare him with some other plushes. So, obviously, here's the play-by-play Crash plush from 2001. That looks quite good next to him. Then you've got the Kelly toy plush from 2005 right there. So he's actually quite big. But like, let's compare him to some Japanese plushes, because Namco hasn't been making these for over 20 years. I don't have any of the Namco ones because they're super rare and expensive, but here's the Bam Presto Crashes right up next to him. You can see they're quite small. And one thing to note is, remember this vinyl fabric? Everyone hates this vinyl fabric because it chips off and it just gets damaged. Look at that, it's all chipping away. And sometimes that happens to the shoes, as happened with this 1999 Santa Crash. So this vinyl material is really awful. Luckily the gloves are not made out of that, and unlike the Jim Planning plush, his nose and eyes aren't made out of that. They're really nicely embroidered, and his eyebrows are embroidered and felt, kind of stiff. He has the lovely stuffed mohawk, and he has lovely ears with interfacing inside. So there's a piece of foam here, so much better than the Kelly toy plastic, which just breaks. But if you look at the shoes, they are made of that vinyl fabric. Has really nice stitched on laces. Look at that, so good, such nice quality. But yeah, we've got vinyl here, vinyl and vinyl. So I wonder, is it going to turn out like this? Or is the modern vinyl going to stand up to the tests of time? We'll see. We'll see. I hope it does, because I don't want him to end up like that, where it's all flaky and horrible. So just from having the Santa and the Bam Presto plushes on my bed, look what it's done. Look at all of this. This is all just vinyl flakes. So let's compare the smaller Crash plushes. So this is the play-by-play 2001 Crash keychain. He has a numbskull keyring. I got this one secondhand, so he's not quite complete, but there you go. So you can see how he looks there. We also have the N.Gin Planning keychain Crash, so that's what he looks like up against him. So yeah. This one obviously looks like the 90s Crash. It really has lots of detail. This one looks like the Insane Trilogy Crash in the Japanese style, kinda. Yeah, it's still super cute though, I must say, and it's got the Japanese smile, so that's why I went for this one instead of the one with the teeth. Then we've got the N.Gin ones from 1999. Here they are, the N.Gin keychain Crashes. So these are also really nicely detailed, look like Japanese Crash. But they're a lot more simplistic and a lot more cheaply made. Look at the felt ears and mohawk. And then look at this guy's lovely embroidery. He's got obviously a 2D mohawk, but it's not felt. And he does have 2D ears, but they're 2 pieces of fabric that have been glued together. So gonna have to be careful that they don't start peeling. But again, he has printed details here this time. So he also has vinyl shoes, vinyl, except here, which is a fabric that's been printed on to make the laces. So just the top of his shoes are a different fabric to the rest. But around here is also vinyl. And then you have the printed shorts and of course the printed hands. Other than that, it's all embroidered. It's really cute. It's so adorable and so soft. I can't describe how soft this is. Like, it's crazily soft. So this is a really impromptu review because all of my stuff is still in the UK. I moved back to Japan, as some of you will know if you follow my community notes. But I just want to give you an overall look at the stitching, how it's made. I mean, look at all the seams and the darts. They really wanted to make this guy shapely. Unlike a lot of modern plushes, I'm looking at You Kid Robot, where there's hardly any shape at all. It's a really nicely made, really lovingly put together Crash plush. And it's so weird that they went for the N.Gin trilogy design, especially after Crash 4's already been released. But it gives me hope that Crash 4 and Crash Team Rumble were like a Toys for Bob style Crash Bandicoot, and the actual official Crash Bandicoot look or license will look like this, and he'll kind of retain this look, which you may notice is also not the Japanese version. Just as in the arcade, all of the promotional material, all of the tags and such, they're all the American version, or say the Western version of Crash. Look, nothing in the arcade had the Japanese Crash face, so maybe they just didn't have those renders. Maybe only a few Japanese renders were made and they weren't good enough for the displays. But you can see he has the classic Japanese Pac-Man eyes. He's got, he does have teeth, which some of them do have teeth, but they're not usually sewn on. Sometimes they're cut, so you can actually see the teeth, such as on the N.Gin planning plush. And of course, yeah, on the N.Gin planning plushes he did have teeth, and sometimes they're cut out so they're quite shapely, but normally he doesn't have teeth. Normally in the Japanese renders it's always open mouth. But yeah, as you can see, there's lots of work going on here. There's just so much to give him a real 3-dimension, to give him lots of shape, and you don't really see that these days on modern plushes. Obviously he's missing his belly button, which is a shame. His trousers are properly sewn in here, so they can't come down. He's wearing obviously a real string here, which is great. You can pull his trousers up as far as you like, and he does have Crash Bandicoot legs, but he's also wearing blue pants. I mean, this looks a bit odd, but the shorts are sewn on, but his actual crotch area, if you want to call it that, his pelvis, is actually a different kind of blue fabric, almost like a soft felt. And then, of course, you have his gorgeous vinyl shoes, which I really hope don't fall apart like the others, and the sewn-on shoelaces. Right, well, let's look at the small one then. I've been rambling for quite a bit. So yes, again, we've got the 2-dimensional hair. It's 2 pieces of the same fabric, the body fabric, just glued together. And the ears are also the body fabric, and then a kind of brown felt on the inside. He has this really nice coloured blue keychain on the back, which is very similar to all the other keychains that you find in Japan. I mean, the Western ones tend to have strings and then hooks or chains, whereas the Japanese ones always have these little ball chains. I'm not quite sure what to call them. See, it's here on the N.Gin one, it's also here on the Bam Presto one, and it's on all of the keychain Crash Bandicoot figures as well, with the exception of the Bam Presto keychains. So yeah, super cute face. It's very dynamic. His chin is sewn separately. His fur is sewn over his mouth, not the other way around. His belly and everything is a different fabric. Just the shorts are printed on fabric, so you can see it's kind of white underneath. It's not dyed, it's just printed on the top. Then, like I said, we've got vinyl down here, vinyl, and then printed on shoelaces, printed on hands, embroidered eyes, embroidered eyebrows. Really gorgeous. And then there's his tag, made in Vietnam. There's the Crash Bandicoot logo. Obviously it's 2024 Activision Publishing. I never thought I'd see another Crash plush from Activision. Here's Crash, and then of course this is from SK Japan, as it said on the tag, SK Japan. So actually I guess I was wrong, because it's clearly made by SK Japan and not NAMCO, unless this is a subsidiary of NAMCO. I'm not sure if they still make the toys, but you know, they made these really hard to get. Okay, and then I forgot to look at the tag for this guy, because he has a much bigger tag here. So you can see it says Crash Bandicoot 2024, Activision Publishing, and then on the bum it says SK Japan, made in Vietnam. You can see where it says here, Big Nuigurumi. Crash Bandicoot Big Nuigurumi. And it says it's a one-piece set. And that is just one piece of card. Whereas this one is a small book on the keychain one. Small book to fit all the information on there. But yeah, what a lovely guy. And you can see on this one... Well, it definitely says you have to be 6 years or older. But it does... Oh, there you go. It says everything. There are 4 pieces in the set for everything. That's what it says right there. And this is called Crash Bandicoot Mascotto. So Crash Bandicoot Mascot, which is what they usually call keychains or key holders. If it's a character, they usually call it Mascot. So you might see them refer to... If you're looking for them online, type like NAMCO Crash Bandicoot Mascot. That's probably how the Japanese will refer to them. And this is the big plush, or the big Nuigurumi. Very gorgeous. I love the stuffed hair on this guy. And the embroidery on the eyebrows to keep them down. Then they're also felt, like a glued felt. Yeah, the ears with the foam. Oh, he's just gorgeous. Embroidered eyes, embroidered around, embroidered on teeth. And they're very dynamic as well. They're quite bumpy and lumpy, so they really do look like teeth. Just missing the belly button, really. This is a really, really lovely high-quality plush, and I did pay quite a lot of money for it. So if you are coming to Japan thinking you might want to try and win this, I would say go for it. Go for the experience. Like, I was thrilled at the beginning to see a claw machine that had Crash Bandicoot all over it. I was like, oh, this must be what it was like in the 90s. And every Western person who was, traveling or whatever, as they walked past, they were like, oh my god, Crash Bandicoot. And he seemed quite popular. After I won, I saw lots of Japanese people going up to it and trying themselves. But Namco is really good at taking your money, so maybe buy them secondhand. But it's worth it for the experience. I can say that I won, these 2 Crash plushes from a UFO catcher, from a claw machine. I never thought I'd be able to say that. But yeah, what a lovely plush set. I really hope I can get the rest. And if I do, I'll make a video reviewing those too. But this hopefully gives you an idea of what they're all going to be like. And I have seen the Aku Aku, and as you saw in my video, the Aku Aku mask is just flat, printed, and the underside is white, unfortunately. But there you go. Hope you enjoy this. If you have the opportunity, try and win one of these. It's definitely the best modern Crash Bandicoot plush. I love it. And if you love the Japanese style Crash Bandicoot plushes, but you can't quite afford those, these are the ones for you. Oh my goodness, they're lovely. So soft and beautiful. So, happy hunting.
If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching this video. Also, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, joining our Discord, and following me on Instagram and Twitter for even more rare Crash Bandicoot merchandise.
Hit subscribe! And don't forget to press the bell icon, you miserable bandicoots!